They're right behind me over here.
Welcome back, and today I'm going to make salsa 100% from scratch. We went to a roadside farm stand and got some wonderful vegetables. So to start out with, we have some tomatoes. All right, so let's get started, and we'll cut up these tomatoes. And you have to take this part out. I got a very sharp knife. I have a cutting board. I'm just going to be very careful and take this out. Okay, and these are very ripe. Sometimes when you get tomatoes at the store, they're not quite ripe, and then they don't taste as sweet. I'm going to cut this in half, and then we're going to dice it up. And this is why you need a very sharp knife, because when you're cutting up tomatoes, the sharper the knife, the better, because you want to be able to, especially when you're doing salsa, dice it up nice and small. Even if you were slicing tomatoes for a burger, you want to dice it small, and if you don't have a sharp knife, you won't be able to do it. You'll be smushing the tomato instead of going through the tomato with the knife, so that's important to know. And now I also have an oversized bowl because it's easier to mix. I'm not going to make that much salsa, but it's going to be easier to mix. So I'm going to continue to cut up all these tomatoes and see how many we have. I'll be back shortly. Okay, so that was a lot of tomatoes. And now we're going to start adding some green chilies. So in a previous video, I did green chilies roasted in a cast iron skillet, and I got this much. So what I'm going to do, I'm not quite sure how much I'm going to use yet, and we're just going to start scooping it in. I'm going to start out with about half. I'll mix it in and then see where we're at, because you don't want too much of any one thing. I'm going to start mixing this up here. Okay, I think I'm going to definitely need more. I'm going to have to get a separate spoon because I don't know if I'm going to have any leftover green chili. I might have a few left over, which I'll probably put in a different meal, possibly tonight. So I think I will need a little bit more. Okay, so that's how much I have left. So let's mix this in. Now, depending on your taste, you might want more, you might want less. I'm just kind of trying to break up that green chili. Almost. Just a little bit more. Because the green chili will make it spicier. So I want like a medium green chili, a medium salsa is what I'm looking for. So that looks about right. So I have a little bit left over. Like I said, I'll probably do it in tonight's dinner. And now my next ingredient is going to be onion. And I'm going to do a white onion, which I already took the skin off of it. I'm going to start with half. I'm going to cut this in half, and then we'll dice it up. And the reason I want to dice it up so small is because I want when somebody takes some salsa on a chip or puts it on their food, that you get the profile, the food profile in each bite. So we want all the ingredients in each bite. So I'm going as small as I can. Nice thing about the summer is you get all these wonderful fresh ingredients that are available. Okay, let's see what this is looking like. Let's see if half of one onion is enough. Okay, I say I do the other half. I like a lot of onion. I might start crying with that one. This seems like a strong onion, which will make the salsa only tastes better as far as I'm concerned. Okay. Everybody's having a good day. I'm looking forward to the salsa today because I don't always have super sweet and perfectly ripe tomatoes to do salsa from scratch. And I love salsa. Okay, so we're just going to go with the rest of this onion. Stir it up. Okay, I also love garlic, and I just broke off some cloves from this. Okay, I've also taken the skin off the garlic, so I have 6 cloves. I think that should be enough. And I have this cute little mini food processor that I love. It's really good for little jobs and not overly loud, which is nice. So I'm going to put these cloves of garlic in there. And I'm going to just mix these up. Now when you have fresh garlic, it's a lot stronger than if you had garlic that's already minced for some reason, but that's the way it is. And so now I'm going to get a spoon out, a little teaspoon. I'm going to put the garlic in salsa. The only problem with garlic, sometimes it does stick. I guess because of the garlic. There's actually oil, garlic oil. Okay, so I'm going to mix this up. That smells really, really good. Okay, now I'm going to put this back together. Oh, I can add that too. And then I have a few radishes. I'm going to take 2 radishes. I washed these up already. Just going to take the ends off. And I think 2 might be enough, but I have another 2 washed up just in case. I'm just going to see how this goes. And I'm just going to kind of quarter them, and then I'm going to put them in my mini food processor, which by the way is pretty inexpensive, and it saves a lot of time. Okay, so it appears that I have almost as much radish as I do garlic, so that's probably a good thing. Set that aside for a second, and I'm going to scrape the side of here. And I think that should be the perfect amount of radishes. We're going to mix everything up. We just have a few more ingredients to go. Okay. I have some fresh cilantro. And I'm going to dice it up, and I'm going to use a chef's knife. So I washed it up, kind of measured out how much I guess I need. It smells really fresh. And so let's dice this up. I'm going to try to get this as small as I can. Get that out of the way. So we really want it to blend through the salsa. I don't want to use too much though, because I don't want it to be overpowering. I want it to add to the flavor and not just, I don't want to just taste this. Okay, we're getting close. getting pretty tiny. Fun part will be getting it off the cutting board. Okay. I'm going to actually use the back of the knife to kind of just gather it all together. Okay. And this is very strong smelling. And again, if you were using dehydrated cilantro, you probably would have to use more. When you're using fresh ingredients, you don't really need as much for your spices. Okay, I'll try to somehow get this all up. As much as possible. Okay. Now, stir it up again. Now, I am going to taste test this when I'm done, but we're really having it for dinner, which is a few hours away. So the longer you let that set, the more the spices and the tomato and all the ingredients just blend and make it taste wonderful. Okay, so now for the green onions, we're going to take the end off, and I'm going to use an entire bunch of green onions. So I'm just going to start by just cutting up a couple right here. And again, we're making it tiny. We want each bite to have each flavor in it. Okay, so I'm going to continue with these green onions and with the rest, and then we'll mix them in just a few. I did see that I somehow got the end right there, but I did take it out of there. So if you saw that on camera, I did take it out, and I'm going to continue to cut up these onions. So those onions are strong. So if I sound like I'm stiffly, that's why. They're actually making me cry. Okay, so now everything's mixed up. It looks great, but now it's time to add some extra spices. So onion powder. And you might ask, why are we adding onion powder when I already have all these onions? Because this makes it so that it really gets into every single bite and on the tomato and everything. And then some roasted garlic, but if you just have regular garlic powder, that will do also. I just happen to find this roasted garlic, and it's really, really good. And then we have some finely ground black pepper. And then some oregano. I bought the oregano in a little bag, and then I put it into one of these containers. And I'm not going to go crazy on the oregano. I'm just putting a bit of oregano because I don't want it to overpower the salsa. Okay, now, if you are really a salt person, this is when you'd add your salt. We don't really eat a lot of salt. We like a lot of spice, but we don't eat a lot of salt at all. So, if you like salt, you can add it at this point. We do get salted corn chips, so for us that's just works out fine. So in just a few, after I get this all stirred up, I'm going to continue to stir it. I'm going to do the taste test, but as I said, dinner's a few hours away, and once it sits in the fridge and the spices all really just marinate with each other, it'll even be better than when I try it. All right, so now it's going to be time for the taste test, and I put the salsa in this ridiculously large salsa bowl. Look at that. It's huge. And I still have some left in the bowl. So it made a nice, generous amount of salsa. All right. I could probably just make a meal, personally, out of chips and salsa, but it's probably a good idea to eat something else with it. But time for the taste test. That is good. Nothing like homemade salsa. Very, very delicious. These tomatoes are so sweet and juicy. And the roasted green chilies, onion, everything is just so fresh. It's very refreshing. Very delicious. I can't wait to later sit down and have a whole bunch of chips and salsa. Might have to have, before I go run my errands, I think I might have to have a few before I leave, though, before tonight. I don't think I can wait. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. I think you will really enjoy the salsa with all the onions and the fresh chilies and everything tasting so fresh, and I hope you can get fresh ingredients where you live too, and if you can't, go to the grocery store and just do your best. So I hope you enjoyed this video. For those of you who subscribe to my channel, I really appreciate it, and if you don't, I hope that you do. And have a great day, and thanks for watching, and please like and share this video.